There's never been a better time than now to stop what you're doing and tune in to Straight Up, TAB Radio's weekly podcast that will guide you through the difficult journey that is the punt. Whether it be racing or sport, the Straight Up team has your back. Now, from the studios of TAB Radio, welcome to Straight Up.
Yes, Russell Collett, a very good afternoon.
G'day, mate. How are you?
Good. Russell, of course, from Collett Realty in Fremantle, Collett Bookmaking at Belmont and Ascot from 6BR. You still got a motor vehicle?
No, I've given away my license. No, how are you, mate?
Good, mate.
All good?
Always good to have you on board. How are you?
Fantastic. Enjoying a lovely, cool, iced chino, a smooth chino, and
I could ask
week.
where mine is, Russ, but I'm not that sort of a bloke. Now, time for an early trumpet. What about a bit of smooth chino action last week? That was a good tip.
That was something. Gee,
Yeah.
There was a few people on it.
It did shorten in, didn't it?
Didn't it?
Yeah.
Big time.
Big
I think
win.
when we went to where, it was $14 everywhere. You could have shopped it anywhere you liked. Within 24 hours, it's into about 8 or 9, and then McGuinnity really brought it into about 6 at the end, I think.
Yeah, he said this has got to stop, but once some sort of a win.
Yeah, yes, it might. Well, like I said, it's a special animal, and it's going places. And I think the trick there was not many people had seen it live. I was lucky to see it twice live, and the eye doesn't lie. It's a very nice animal. Improved a lot. Start 1 to 2, as I said, and then of course. The improvement continued. Fabulous last couple of hundred.
Wow.
Brilliant.
You would have thought, even at the run at the 200, this could flash home and run a good 4th or 5th and say, I'll be on it next start.
Wins by length.
Yep. Terrific day. Did you go down to Penny?
I didn't get there in the end. We had every plan to get there and had visitors arrive at 11 a.m.
Who were they? Did you?
Good friends.
Oh, right, okay.
But then on went the TAB radio and sat back and took it on from the lounge. It was brilliant.
Yeah, the good thing too, you can follow it all on 7+ these days as well. Terrific coverage. It's there again this Sunday too at Pinjarra Park with the Classic.
Yeah, no, and what a great race that's going to be. Great meeting again. Gee, there was a good crowd there.
Yeah, looked good.
Everyone loves going to Pinjarra.
Yeah, special place, isn't it?
It's a ripper.
Under the trees, if it's a bit warm, you get the breeze through, and it's a good place to be. Tab Touch Pinjarra Classic this Sunday, and McGuinnity tells me the markets are already up, so we will have a good look at them for Tab Touch a little later on. We're concentrating on Gerald. We've got Julio Santarelli working beautifully out there at the Magic Million Sales Complex.
Yeah, going well so far.
It has been a good sale so far. That was a great interview
there with the Pierce boys.
Yeah, with Benny Pierce, and earlier on he had Neville Parnham, and he's been getting all the stars on out there at the moment. Digby Beecham's out there with him as well.
How good is the West Speed scheme?
Magnificent. We're just talking about it.
It's incredible, isn't it? Like you're running for double the stakes. You're running it in a different race.
Yes.
By just buying local.
Yep.
Incredible.
Yep. And that is a great incentive to stay local and to buy local, breed
keep the money
local
here.
as well. Townsville race number 6 will clear these divs. It was 8, 4, 10 and 7. So the 8 got at the outside. Brave Intent, Amanda Thompson, 1994.70. Catalina Dreaming, $1.04, and Arrogant Heart, $7.10. Quinella 16.90, Exacta 68.20, the trifecta 1,116.90. First 4, 8, 4, 10, 7, 18,529.20. 6 and 8, the double 149.30, and the quaddie 7, 1, 6 and 8, $1,140.20. Geraldton race number 3's 3 off. Good luck to WA breeders at the 2025 Magic Million sale of the 1,100 metres. They'll be very happy with the start so far. 1 Bombay Styles, 8 out to 13. 2 Bonnie Ladd, 230-245. And 3 Sorvgarders, 250-240. So punters have got this a race in 2. 5 Arnie's Boy, 12 out to 14. 6 is Just Handy at $9. 7 Raging Beauty, 61, and 8 Safe Hustle at $8.50, drifting from $7. As we said, Troy Turner winning the first 2. Pakenham race 2. We'll take Pakenham race 2, and then we'll have Mick on board for Danks Furniture. Looking forward to that. Starting to get very close. You can smell the liniment in the air, can't you? Hey, all this flag mantle talk, it's starting to reach.
It's back.
That's reaching fever pitch. I can hear Darren in the background. He's he's loving those Fremantle
Dockers. He bleeds
Dockers.
purple, he does.
He does. 3-year-old fillies go at it at Pakenham. 1 Abbey's Crossword, 31. 2 Alpine Calc, $16. 3 Bling Baby, 41. 4 Clavella's, 325. Coronation Day, 296. Game Plan, 250. 7 La Certe is 41, 8 Lord's Princess 51, 9 Northwood Varmoose is 51, and 10 Stella by Starlight 41. I think that three-way exhibition game, or pre-seed, whatever you call them now, match sim game is underway, and we haven't got the coverage in here at the moment, so unfortunately. So what is it, Gold Coast, Collingwood, and who else is up there? There's 3 of them going, playing 2 quarters against each other. So Mick's obviously watching that, and he'll bring us all of that information pretty soon when he joins us.
Interesting concept, isn't it?
Yeah, so it's
three-way.
It's Brisbane, Gold Coast and Collingwood, match sim squads.
Yeah.
They're out and about. So some of the big names are missing, but they'll just go at it hard for a couple of quarters and have a break and keep switching around.
McGuane gets past Brown. They're lifting the pies. They can sense it. McGuane's had 5 bounces. Nearly get another one. Round he goes. In he goes to an open goal. Mickey McGuane. Goal of the year.
Mick McGuane joins us on Straight Up for this AFL preview thanks to Danks Furniture.
You won't see better than that.
With 6 local stores in the metro area, there's one near you.
Yes, for the comfort of home, Danks Furniture, and we welcome along Mickey McGuane. A very good afternoon.
G'day, Marty. How are you?
Yeah.
G'day, Mick.
Russell's here.
G'day, Russ. How are you, mate?
Good, mate.
Now, tell us about what's going up there at the Gold Coast in this 3-way exhibition match.
Yeah, it's a bit like carnival time, isn't it? Like the years gone by, the old Lightning Premiership. But Collingwood and Brisbane are playing at the moment the first 20-minute stanza. And Brisbane are 1 goal to 8 points. The Collingwood 2 behind. So it's been a slow start from a scoring perspective. Cam Rayner kicked the first goal about 12 minutes into the term. Logan Morris has started forward and he's on fire in front of the ball. They've got a very good dynamic forward line, as we know. Brisbane, Cameron's there, Loman's there, Archie started there to complement Rayner and Morris. So they look pretty lively at the moment. And Collingwood through the middle of the ground have got, well, they started with Dacos and Chris through that middle of the ground against, terrific players in Ashcroft, McCluggage and Neale. And up forward, it's good to see that they're having a look at Membry and McStay as a combination, Schultz, Hoskin, Elliott, Jamie Elliott in that part of the ground with Perryman. And it's good to see a couple of VFL boys that are training at Collingwood in ex-Docker Brady Gray get a chance, and also Curtis Taylor, who was delisted by North Melbourne at the back end of last year, get an opportunity, and they started on the ground as well.
What do you think of the format, Mick?
Oh, yeah, I don't mind it this time of year. I think the players would enjoy it, to play 40 minutes of footy, 2 20-minute quarters against 2 different opposition teams. Some younger players probably would go all day, but some of the older blokes, there'd be an argument, we need the rest, but also some older blokes would say, once I'm going, I want to keep going. So the break could be challenging. Now you manage your body in that break if you're playing a quarter and then having 2 quarters off, for example. Do you go back on and risk injury, you cool down, all that sort of stuff. Yep. So I think they'll have to manage the group particularly well.
What about the news? Just a quick one of Curnow. We were talking about this off air a while ago. Another little knee operation before the start of the season. Is this starting to get a bit of a concern for this champion forward?
Absolutely it is. Like, if I'm a Carlton supporter and football lover I am, I want him out on the park weekly. But sort of the last 2 or 3 weeks, there's just been murmurings coming out of Carlton that all's not well with his knee, hence the reason as to why this latest news is concerning. They need him. The game needs him. And let's face it, if he's playing in that front half, it puts an enormous amount of pressure on any defensive group, because the Twin Towers certainly can be targets for their midfield group in Mackay and Curnow when they're up and going. And I thought the chemistry with those two playing together a bit the last couple of years is certainly there for everyone to see. There's a good understanding of how each other plays and what role they're asked to play within the team. But if he's not there, I think it puts an enormous amount of pressure on Harry. And does he become susceptible by playing on the best defender close to goal? That's something Michael Voss would have to work out if Charlie Curnow's in the grandstand watching.
I was talking to a really good football judge today. He's a Carlton man, and he's worried about them, and he's actually thinking about, I think there was a bet at 270 for them not to make the 8. He's talking about taking that. And he's worried about their depth. And what you just said about their forward line, he said, and that can happen in their back line as well with Wiedering and McGovern. You know, they're good together, but if you lose one, they don't go as good. And he just thinks all over the ground now that they've lost Nick Newman as another key defender, that their best is very good, but they're lacking depth in a lot of places.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. If they lost Wiedering and Curnow to extended periods of time, they can't make the 8.
There you go.
Their bye's good. They got their draw's good.
Draw's
good
good
in the opening round.
Yep,
absolutely. They've got Richmond, Hawthorn, Western Bulldogs, Collingwood, West Coast, and North.
Yeah.
So you'd think Richmond, West Coast, and North would be at the bottom end of the ladder for most of the year. In all due respect, I think Hawthorn and Collingwood and the Western Bulldogs could be clearly in the top 8. If they're 3-3, they can set their season up. If they happen to turn 5-1, well, they're off and away. But if they turn 1-5 or 2-4 and have a bad loss to one of those teams that I think will struggle in Richmond, West Coast Eagles and North, it could be a long year, particularly if they get injuries to the people we're speaking about.
Very concerning, Mick. Very concerning indeed. Mate, last week, can we go back 1 week? The exhibition games last week, was there anything that you saw that really stood out as being of concern, or any big positives there with some of the younger players coming into the competition?
I always get concerned when I see a young talent get a fractured jaw in a game of footy through a stupid act from a player pushing him into a contest. I don't like that. It's a part of our game when Ruben Gibney did what he did.
So is he in trouble, Big? Is he in trouble?
If I'm a match review officer, I would be certainly having a look at an incident like that. We know it's a free kick every day of the week, but when you sustain an injury per se, like he's sustained, which could miss a period of time, I don't think it's upon him to say I'm missing footy because of what I did. It's upon the player that pushed him into that contest, which caused the injury to happen. I just think there's no need for it. I think it's dumb footy. It's reckless footy. You approach a contest in a reckless manner and you make contact with a player yourself, well, you get before the tribunal. I see this no different. And
it wasn't a good look for the game itself. It's early doors. You've got a player playing his first game at that level. It was reckless, in my view. I think he could be in real trouble.
Yeah, I think so. I just don't think it's a part of the game. Go and approach the contest. If someone leads you to it, accept that you weren't good enough in that part of the game at that part of the time. Learn from it. Maybe your positioning could have been poor, but out of frustration, you push a player into another mark and a player's about to approach the ball and he gets injured. I think it has to be looked at and maybe a sanction has to be applied. That aside, to get back to Marty's, Russell, your original question, I'm really concerned for the Tigers. It could be really a long year.
Yep.
And I know the Tigers have had some fantastic premierships to celebrate. They've had a magnificent dynasty attached to their club, but this could be a pain year in the view that they've lost some experience. They've got a lot of young players coming through. There's always a question mark over a couple of players. One at one end, Josh Gibcus, who I think is a very good player. Can he survive another year and not get through, overcome that knee reconstruction? And then Tom Lynch at the other end. We know he didn't play a lot of footy last year, and they certainly need him to lead the charge to make sure the Tigers are competitive in front of the ball. But with what I saw the other day, I couldn't really identify their system. I couldn't really identify their ball movement. I couldn't really identify how they wanted to set up the ground defensively. And I thought the West Coast Eagles played really good footy. If that was a premier team like a Brisbane Lions or a GWS or a Sydney with ball movement, I'd hate to see what the scoreline would be if they're going to defend the ground the way they did.
Their transition was very slow, wasn't it, Richmond? Very, very slow.
Yeah.
One team, okay, let's continue on down that track. I watched a fair bit of the Hawthorn-Geelong game, and that was a high-standard type of match, I thought so.
Yep.
But this Hawthorn forward structure is going to take a little bit of settling down until the big names get back in there, I think. Because
no doubt about that.
I'm not sure how well. I didn't like Chol's attitude in that match. He just looked disinterested, dropping marks, missing goals that he should have kicked, and no chase at all. Yeah,
it brought back memories to the year that he got told that he was no longer required at Richmond, because I thought at that stage he was an uncompetitive key forward that Damien Hardwick won't have patience with. And eventually, the irony of the story was that he went to Gold Coast for a year, and when Dimmer gets there, he ends up leaving there as well. So then you look at last year's performance, and I thought at Hawthorn, his year last year was quite outstanding in terms of his return, the goals that he scored, how he competed. I thought the two players, if we're being judgmental, they were chalk and cheese, and full credit to him. But you're right, I thought watching that game last week, the standard of that play versus the game we watched earlier was totally different, and it was a high standard. But you want to see your forwards have the right body language, irrespective what stage of the year it is, and what you do after you miss a shot at goal or you drop a mark or you miss a tackle. Just get after it, and if you certainly dwell on it, I always believe you make two mistakes, get over the first mistakes and move on pretty quickly and play the game for your teammates.
And Mick, the Indigenous All-Stars game versus the vanilla side, did you take anything out of that? And do you think it's something we could have every second year, possibly here in the West? It was very well supported, over 40,000 people fronted up, and they seem to really get a lot out of it, especially the Indigenous boys getting together for the first time in a decade. They gelled well. They had something to play for.
Yeah, I think Michael Walters got it right in his discussion about the game and who was the winner. I thought the game won in terms of, I know we're over cricket and we're probably looking forward to footy to start. Well, that's me anyway. And to sit back and observe that game and watch it, it was a game of probably ping-pong that just got up and down the ground really quickly with not a lot of defensive pressure. But in saying that, I just was happy to watch the skills that the Indigenous boys put on display. They were quick, they were sharp, they connected really well on the footy field. There was a lot of selflessness involved. There wasn't a lot of selfish players that wanted to say, look at me, look what I can do. And I thought they really come together as a unit and as a team, and they were a delight to watch. But to answer your question, Russ, I reckon it'd be great every year to promote, one, the Indigenous team, because the AFL have put out there that there is declining numbers. I love watching the Indigenous in full flight. But in saying that, at stages, they've got to help themselves to make sure they want to stay in the AFL system when things can get tough. And I think if they exhibit a game like that on a yearly basis, I reckon the next generation of young boys, or girls for that matter, watching a game of that magnitude, and particularly if they're Indigenous, they might even gravitate to the game at a higher level and say, well, if I want to be like Michael Walters, or if I want to be like a Sean Berger on of yesteryear, maybe I've got to start doing the work to actually exhibit the skills that I've got, the God-given talent that I've been given. And if they do that, they'll learn a good life, they'll have a good career, and they'll be able to stay in the system for a long period of time. But I think to showcase it and to have 40,000 people, as you said, in that environment, the early stages of the year when local footy hasn't started, all eyes are on that game, I think it's a fantastic promotional tool, but an educational tool as well, to say if you want to be the next generation of an Indigenous boy to play this great game, come and watch it and then go home and hone your skills and your fitness to get to the level that's required.
And Mick, there was a lot of kids there, a lot of young boys and girls that were right into it. You could see them every time they took a shot of the crowd. The young girls, the numbers there at a game of footy was phenomenal.
It sensed like watching, and obviously wasn't there firsthand, it seemed like a real family atmosphere where you'd love to bring, your son, your daughter, your wife, your mum, your dad, to watch a game of footy when there's, no 4 points on the line. It was just an exhibition game in a way, but it showcased, I thought, the talent of a lot of players, irrespective of race or religion, and it was just, the game was the winner, and I thought Michael Walters spoke beautifully post-event, and I reckon he nailed it, saying footy was the winner.
Definitely.
Mike, talking about Indigenous players, an important one for the Western Bulldogs, Jamara Ugle-Hagan back at training this week. The Western Bulldogs need him, and they need a shot of good news, because losing Cody Waitman earlier on in the week's another major blow for them.
Yeah, definitely. You've got two prominent forward fixtures in that part of the ground under some concerns going into the season. That's not ideal. To see Jamara Ugle-Hagan return to training in the AFL program, I thought was really pleasing. He's got some serious work to do, one, to win the respect back of his teammates first and foremost, but really, irrespective of that, you have to get to work behind the scenes and make sure you channel his energies into doing everything that a high-performance athlete has to do to win the respect back of your teammates, but also to play at the standard that you've signed your contract for. And we know he's a talent. We know he's capable of kicking 40 to 60 goals in a given season. And let's just hope that he's going to make some really good choices in his life to commit to the game of footy. Otherwise, he'll lose respect from his teammates and lose it pretty quickly, and he might find himself at another club if that's not the case. So, welcome back, Jamara, but it's over to you. I just want to make sure he commits to footy 24/7, and if he does, we'll be able to sit back and observe his talents that he's got because I think we always gravitate to players with talent irrespective of who you barrack for.
Okay, if all of a sudden next week he doesn't front, do the Western Bulldogs let that out, or will it get out or not? Or are they going to go...
I don't think they'll purposely let it out. I think it'd get out, and then questions would be asked. The messaging would be, we hear that he hasn't trained today. Is there a reason behind that?
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously the Bulldogs would have to answer that, hopefully to be honestly and being transparent. That's what most clubs generally do really well now, to let their high membership database hear about one of their key playmakers. And I think that's always important, rather than trying to do the cover-up thing that eventually gets out anyway, and then you make yourselves look a mug as a club because you're not transparent to your members who pay their dues.
And talking about the Western Bulldogs, just on that, and players departing, Caleb Daniel's going to be a big loss for them. And then, of course, Bailey Smith on the weekend looked fantastic playing for the Cats.
Yeah, well, Bailey, we know, can get up and down the ground, and he's a fantastic athlete. He borders on being a maniac trainer, and sometimes you have to reel him in to make sure he's not overdoing it, to look after his body so he's fresh match day. But no one will be able to question what he does in terms of his work rate and his attitude to training and trying to get the best out of himself. So I was pleased to see him back out in the park and do what he does best. And obviously, Caleb Daniel, watching him train over the summer at North Melbourne, he's going to be an acquisition to them because his instruction behind the ball is elite. He's small of stature, but he's big of mouth and big of reasoning. And that's what they certainly need behind the footy, because a lot of their defenders are undersized, we know, and they probably become a little bit insular. They become quite territorial. Geez, I need to protect my turf because I'm playing on one of the opposition's best forwards. And you need that selfless organiser around the footy, behind the footy, in front of the footy, who can be the voice of reason to make sure they're setting up the ground they want it. And Caleb Daniel certainly provides that through his experience, but also helping these younger boys at North Melbourne elevate their game and elevate it quickly.
And he's probably that link man that North really need, that bloke that if he gets the pill, he's going to find one of your targets.
He does. He breaks up the game beautifully. We know he's not a long kick, a penetrating kick. He doesn't cover the lines now like he used to with his leg speed. He's not as quick as what he was. But if you get the ball in his hand, generally he makes the right choice. Now, is it a short 45 to break it up? He'll find it and use it and make sure he executes well. Even if it's a 35 to 45 metre longer 45, to have the dare to come back through the corridor, he'll certainly do that. And if there's nothing on, he'll just go down the line and provide a high ball for one of their key forwards to come up, and that could be a Nick Clarkey, a Cam Zerha, or even a Jack Darling now, who's in North Melbourne colours, to provide a contest down the line.
Talking with Mick McGuane for Danks Furniture. Mick, what's the latest with all the SSP selections?
I'm just excited about talking about the game that the Bulldogs and Essendon played, to watch a couple of those boys go around, and then to see some players get an opportunity. We know West Coast Eagles, for example, have elevated Sandy Brock. He signs as an Eagle, spent 3 years at Gold Coast. Jack Henderson, what a story that is. Basically trained at the Eagles, then signed at Melbourne the day after he played in the West Coast practice match versus Richmond on the Monday. And Shane McAdams' season-ending Achilles injury opened up an opportunity there for him to become available. So that's a good story in itself. And then you talk about, a boy that is basically a school teacher and kicks 4 goals in Tom Edwards against the Western Bulldogs. He signs at Bomberland and gets a well-deserved contract. And just goes to show for any young boys listening out there that never give up. And it's got to be an attitude that's ingrained in you to say that while I've got, the age bracket 18 to probably 23, even though you might get overlooked at draft time, don't give up your dreams, because those dreams can turn into reality if you believe in yourself. It's not about proving people wrong. It's about proving people right. Just have belief in what you're good at and get to work, and it's amazing those sliding door moments can happen in your favour.
So does that mean Jai Cully misses out at Melbourne?
Yeah, I think so. I don't think they've got another position available. No. I might be wrong. I think the deadline is tomorrow, Friday the 21st. But clubs can keep their last spot open for the mid-season draft instead. So that's where that sits at the moment. The deadline for the SSP period, pre-season supplemental selection period, ends tomorrow. But as I said, clubs can keep list spots open for the mid-season draft. And probably if Collingwood's got a position available, that's the reason why we're there looking at a couple of young boys tonight in Brady Gray or even Curtis Taylor, who are in their VFL program. And if they perform well tonight and they have a good first half of the year, they might say, we're not going to put up a name tomorrow, but come mid-season draft, if we think you've elevated your game and doing what we're asking you to do, your AFL career could be live and well.
And Mick, with the SSP, is there a deadline for when clubs can possibly move an injured player across to the long-term injured and free up a spot?
I'm not 100% sure on that ruling, Russell, to be perfectly honest. That's not my strength. I leave that to the administrators and powers to be that know more about the intricacies of player draft and mid-season draft and all that sort of stuff. But we've witnessed in this time frame a player like Shane McAdam, who unfortunately succumbed to an Achilles injury. That therefore opened up an opportunity for Jack Anderson, who trained all season over at the Eagles, has now got a list spot at Melbourne. So that's a fantastic story. Just like probably the Western Bulldogs have gave a Gold Coast ruckman at VFL level in Braden Crosley, who we saw play in that match against the Bombers last week. He played all his footy at Southport last year, played in the grand final, loss against Werribee last year, and he's coming up against the list spot player that played in that Werribee grand final team in Dom Brew. So they're probably going head-to-head for that one of those spots at the Western Bulldogs. So we'll have to wait and see what happens in the next 24 hours.
Okay, Mick, and before we get to Ballarat Trots and an update on the game that you're watching, Francis Evans gets Carlton's final list spot. Now, export player. I don't mind this guy, Francis Evans. Played some good games last year.
Yeah, he pops up in the phone box. He can find space in that forward half. There's no question about that. It was an interesting one at Carlton because they had, Denver Granger Barrash training. They had Matt Carroll, Willie White, Sam Durden, Liam McMahon, who was at Collingwood, then kicked 45 goals last year at VFL level for the Blues, all trained for that last spot. But full credit to Francis Evans, who's got that spot at Carlton, because I think they've identified they've lost Owies. And as many people thought, he had a pretty good year. There's question marks over Motlop. Can he elevate his game? Zach Williams, is he a forward? They recruited him as a midfielder, but we've hardly seen him in midfield because when he got there he wasn't fit. They got him out of defence. So is Zach Williams the answer to that small forward, pressure forward role to hit the scoreboard? Maybe. But I think they've looked to their well and they said, gee, we may be a little bit short if we lose one or two of those boys that I mentioned. And that's the reason why Francis Evans, a noted goal kicker who can find space, as I said, in a phone box in that forward half of the ground, has got his third life at AFL footy, and good on him. 6
minutes to pack it on race number 3, updating Thames for Godolphin down the bottom, 4 into 230 for Williams. She's good on a day. Mr. Magnus, last start winner, 550 to 340. Le Derriere for Hannah Edgley has been 7 into 6. Dio up the top is 10 to 850. One from the trials trialled really well, Powerbound. It's been 26. It's now got into 14, back out to 18. That's Pakenham race 3. Geraldton race 4 will follow in 10. And here we have Traded Crown at $3. Knock One back at 480. Kazkazi on top for Mac at 850. Butterfly Rock 420 and Bahara 650. Let's go to Ballarat for the trots. We got a winner or two. Your last tip got home there last week, Mickey, at the good odds.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, got the wages there for the bet of the night and stuck its head out where it mattered most. That's the main thing. Ballarat tonight, I think race 2 could be a bit of a 3-horse play. I'm pretty keen on 9 and 11, equal stake. They bet bigger odds than what they're currently at, but I think one of those will win. But I reckon there's a 60 to 1 roughie in Summerhill, number 2, that might run better than its odds indicate, so I'm certainly going to have something on it. So I'm going to back 9 and 11 equal stake and have a little bit of an insurance on number 2 on an each-way basis.
Okay.
Race 3, number 3 is the bet of the night. She has a love for C. Alford. I think it's got the capacity to go straight to the front over the short trip. And providing it doesn't over-race, it's got some tricks, this horse for Chris. I think it'll be leading and winning. Hungry Hogarth's the second favourite, and I've got no doubt Shazza Love's a better horse than it. So I think Shazza Love is the bet of the night, race 3, number 3. Race 4, there's a couple of roughies here that I could entertain. Unfortunately for our listeners, the price has gone on number 4, Royal Saxon. They put up a ridiculous quote over here in Melbourne. They put up $12 early this morning, and that's clearly half. It's into $5.50, $6 you can get in some places. I thought number 5 was a great roughie. I backed it at $41 each way. That's well and truly gone. And I've also had something on number 1, just because of where it's drawn at $17 each way. So I've backed 3 horses in that race. I think I've got the value of $12, got $41 a 5 and got $17. And I think the other bet of the night is in race 6 on the program, number 11, Black Range Glory. I think this trotter's too good for these. Bit of speed early. Number 3 will spear straight to the front. Fling at Rainbow Chris might light it up, try to cross over. And even Charlie Walker can go forward for Herbie. And if that's the case, I think I want to back number 11 have a good bet on it. He said if it does everything right, it should be too good. And the horse I'm going to back to say represents good value is number 9, Shadow Justice, around $14, $15. So I'm going to back each of 2 in race 6 on the program at Ballarat tonight.
Very good, Mick. Like the sound of that.
We'll run through them again. In race number 2, you're 9 and 11 and 2.
Yep.
Race 3, 3 our best, $1.90 Shazza Love. Now in race 4, you're three-handed here. I've got 5, 1. What was the first number?
In race
4.
In race 4, yeah, I like 5, the roughie.
Yep.
My top pick is number 4.
4. Yep.
And the other one I'm going to save on is number 1 because it's just the odds says I have to back it. Yep.
And then race 6, 11, little save there on the 9 in the Trotters.
That's it.
Beautifully done, Mick. For Danks Furniture, it's always great to catch up. You have a great week. We'll do it again. Final score up there in Gold Coast.
Yeah, Brisbane 4-6 into the second quarter. 8 minutes and 45 seconds in. Collingwood 1-2. Collingwood's 450 entry has been atrocious, so that's something they've got to work on. I know that Craig McRae will be challenging the ball users going inside 50 because at this stage it's below par.
Who are Brisbane rucking with?
Oscar McInerney started.
Yeah, and he fought. Is he out there?
I haven't seen him because I've been concentrating on what we've been talking about. But McInerney's in the centre bounce at the moment. And it looks like McStay's in there for Collingwood, giving Cameron a bit of a chop out by the look of things.
Okay, all the best, Mick. Thank you.
Good on you, Mick.
Good on you, mate.
He's a beauty. Mick McGuane for Danks Furniture, the comfort of home. 6 fine stores around the metropolitan area.
Great furniture.
Oh,
the best.
Been involved. Danks have been involved in the racing game here for 40 years.
Yeah, amazing.
The Perth Racing Preview is where the Straight Up team finds you the winners, and here's the Straight Up team with their preview of Saturday racing from Ascot.
Thank you, Trevor. Always good to have TJ in the studios, and always good to have McGinnity in here as well. How are you, mate?
Mart. Rusty.
G'day, mate.
Tej. Brazer. Hello.
Lefty's here.
Gee, it's busy in here.
Lefty's here.
It's a full house.
Russell, very good debut last week.
Oh,
You've got I know you don't give many people raps, but Smooth Chino, he's about $15 when he tipped it, wasn't it?
Outstanding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the lefty, he was very strong on the 2-year-old, off air. Yeah, so we had him. How did you go?
Hey? It's funny how I'd sort of tipped 6 straight 10-1 winners over the last 6 weeks and he doesn't mention a word, but old mate jumps on, Brazer sends in a text message. We're low on chairs in here. We're playing lapsies. It's a bit squeezy, but we'll be okay.
Oh, it's a very spacious studio. You'll be okay. Now, I've given you the phone for Retrovision. 0427 789 571.
Nice of you to debut my my little
reading skills.
Yeah, well, I can't do that. And also the fact that those pictures you've sent through to the text line are inappropriate. Mark, no more of those, please. The package will not enjoy those one bit.
He's listening.
That makes 2. Anyway, quiet so far. We'll get through them a bit later, I reckon. Okay.
What about this meeting on Saturday? Weather, having a look at the bomb. Cloud clearing 26, winds south to south easterly 20 to 30. Okay, it's on pace until someone else tells you otherwise. Is that what's going on?
Yeah, rail at 3.
Yeah, what's that mean?
On pace.
On pace.
Until someone tells you differently. Definitely.
Okay.
Definitely.
Good meeting. Detonator Stakes.
It's a ripper.
You like the Detonator, don't you? And the Challenge Stakes?
Very excited about this group of 3-year-olds as well. Yeah. It's and there's some really intriguing races to get stuck into, Mark. I know you've been, you look just bleary-eyed because you've been up all night doing the form.
I got a migraine from it. I had to take a sleeper to get to sleep. It's, a couple of those races are really hard to, as Macca would say, unpack. But I did my best last night. I'll see how we go. First event, the MCA Polytrack Plate. It's over the 1,100 metres. Time to go 12:28. And I've just got to get this into order. Here we go. Number 1 is Monte Tremezzo. And it has been $6. You put up $5.50 into $4.20. And the Morton team were keen to have a little look at that. Boza Ladders 41. Bundaberg for Big Wesley John loves one. $9.50. Maya Riches 51 on cue. 126. Jimmy Angels 12. Elegant Ruler 420. Pony Uppers 34. Black Jewel 101. Kawara 5 into 370. Loves Talking is $8.50. So Much Serenity 23 from 31. And Solar Crest $12. So bit of interest in the babies here.
Indeed, Mart. The Sharpies like two. They've penciled the two faves at this stage in Kawara and Elegant Ruler. So they're the main two, with a little bit of money coming just recently, more recent States Pro money for Monty Tremezzo, as you alluded to, Mart, including $550 there at the $5. Kawara, a couple of $500 bets there at the $3.60 and earlier at the $5. Well played. Elegant Ruler, $650 there at the $4.20 as well.
Looks a real type, the debutante from Neville Parnham's Kawara, and brilliantly bred. I mean, look at this family, this baby family. You know, you get these mares and they just keep throwing babies, and then they throw a filly that then throws babies. This is this family here, the Chansky family. This is her granddaughter making a debut for Neville and Chris Parnham from 2. Chansky won a gym crack, ran second in a Supremacy. What I saw in the trials of this horse, the second behind Loves Talking was fabulous. Loves Talking over the 400, of course, led all the way. But the win, the last trial win over Ripper Rupert was something to behold. Big, strong-looking filly, sat in the box, then went off, sat outside the leader and just ran past them, hit the line beautifully. I was taken by it, and I think I'll have that as one of my better bets of the day. I don't like tipping too strong-headed babies.
Just so bad, he's just got bang.
I think this horse has got a real future,
Well,
and
there
I
you
reckon
go.
they'll be just as excited as I was watching the trial.
Stretch those hammies before coming in off the long run, Rusty.
Mate, it was a very impressive trial.
Yeah.
And when you go into and look at some of these babies deeply, it just looks like a family that are going to run.
Yep.
And when they're big and strong like that, drawn to, debuting off a couple of trials, I like them. Neville certainly gets them going. This
Playing
could be,
God.
Yeah, this is a nice animal, and I'm excited about it. There you are.
Good. Bit of excitement.
Straight away off the bat.
We love it. I won't be getting involved. There's some very good stuff coming through on this text line, Mark.
Well, that's what you're there to read it for.
Apparently Bellis have sponsored every... Tim's made a very humorous reference to Bellis sponsoring every race on the card, which is good stuff. They won the Cup, Mart.
Yep, they did.
They won the Cup. We've got a tip here for Cessation. I've given him a gift. Thanks, Gregel. Thanks. Enjoy your gift. What have we got? Oh, one from the Dup. Are we doing this yet? Dup went missing last week, but he's back.
Yeah.
False started, he was DQ'd, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, he's given his whole set, but we're not reading them out because Shorty's back, isn't he?
Well, we don't know. Who won last week?
Shorty's off the bench. He's back in, isn't he?
Well, he's trying to muscle his way in.
No, we'll give him one more chance, the Dup. He's gone Monty Tremezzo in the first, Scorpion Ruler in the second, Barramundi to third, Not Secret, Eccentric Nature, Glasgow Last, Bonjoy, Watch Me Rock. Thanks, Dup. No jokes in that one. Can you think of a gag, please, Dup? Lift.
Now, on my text line, which went well last week as well, the Mauler's jumped in. He's asking whether he's been blocked on the TABradio.
No, there is a message from him that has come through.
Okay.
Yeah. Is it true the Mauler has shared his tips for the first time in a few weeks? Well,
have you
I
got
don't
them
want to
there?
ask as to what he means by that, but
Did he say tips?
well,
did, yeah.
And there's a picture uploading as we speak, so we'll probably just ignore that.
Yeah.
That's it for the moment.
Hello, Laura.
So he's not blocked. He's definitely getting
He's
through
not
the
blocked.
Mauler.
He's getting through.
Very
We
good
just
there.
ignore him.
Got his tips through. So the challenge is on again. Is that right? The Mauler's back.
Yes.
Okay.
We've just had it. Peter O'Neill said put him on.
Okay. All good.
Oh, Swanee from Swanview sent one through. That's a really original and authentic sounding name. Thanks, Swanee from Swanview. Has Mart said something about something happening at the Gold Coast. Does anyone have any more info about this? I don't know if that's a setup or not.
Tell us about what's going up there at the Gold Coast in this freeway. I just had a coffee, that one that Russell brought in his shed. What about this? What about winning form for these 2-year-olds that normally holds, it's normally good week to week? The filly Monty Tremezzo, your thoughts there? No love?
Up 2 kilos. It was impressive, but
you're just all over this, Kawara.
I really am. I'm
blinkers,
excited.
It's got the blinkers on.
I'm
I love
excited.
I've gone back and watched that trial. I missed watching that trial last night.
There you go.
But it was a good trial.
You would have slept better.
Yeah, if I'd seen it. So let's go to race number 2. And this race is the Tab Touch West Speed Platinum Handicap over 1,000 metres. This one tricked me a bit. And it's time to go 3 past 1 Cessation. Well, $8 into $4.20 if you don't mind. Frantic War is 17, Invincible Ruby is 12, Go-Go Grommet 26, Hit the Jackpot 11 from 13, Scorpion Ruler 5, Talkin' Gibberish 443.70, Cryptic Joy 750, How Pretty 31, and Jazz Session 10 into 8.
Do you reckon they've backed one here, Mart?
Yeah, they have.
Yeah.
Cessation.
They're going well with these lately. There's been a few big goes in the last couple of weeks, and they are landing them. So here's another one they're looking at. 4 lots of bets between 300 and 350 at the $8 and $7 there for Cessation, and it's 600 at the 480. Talking Gibberish 600 at the 440. Cryptic Joy 500 at the 550. That's about it at this stage.
Okay, Sensation won its first 2 starts, hasn't won since. 8 starts without a win there. Placed in 6 of them. Certainly, where there's smoke, there's usually fire, but it must be doing something right. Just St. James, it nailed it the other day. How hard was that to watch on?
Wow. In the last.
Oh, and what was going on with that delay there? I'm not one to complain, but they were in the barriers for 5 or 6 minutes. What was going on there?
I don't know. Mac wasn't happy.
Yeah, I was stunned by it, and not good. But a couple of big runs. Cryptic Joy, the maiden winner, first up, was something to behold. Bar plates were removed. His stable's firing again, Simon, especially if you look at the trials. It was big. I know it was only a maiden, but boy, it was big. Talking Gibberish was just as big, just raced away from them. Great win in that Class 1. But the one I'm going for is I'm going back to that Southwest form. You know I love it. You do get a bit of value out of it. You're getting probably close to each way here. A lot of speed in this race. A lot of speed in it. Hit the Jackpot goes forward, as does Talking Gibberish, as does Cessation. I'm going the one that might be camped right behind them with Holly Watson aboard. Scorpion Ruler was a big win. And Mount Barker, the horse has always shown potential. It was a black booker at its first start in a race at Bunbury. If you remember back at 1, everyone put it in their black book. A few have dropped it out since. I think after tomorrow it could go, or after Saturday, it could go back into people's black books. Nice horse, looks to be spot on. As I said, the map's perfect for it. Good price each way.
Yes, similar thoughts to Rusty in regards to the speed. There seems a heap of speed, but how often do we say that and it doesn't eventuate because they all come out looking left and right and waiting for another one to lead. So there looks like there's 4 leaders in the race, but there's only one of them can do that. And what tempo might eventuate, we'll have to see. And I'm just hoping that leader's not Cessation, Mark.
It's a little bit of a one each way there, isn't it, mate? Come on. You're better than that.
Oh, if I was...
You're
I'd be
a map
looking...
maker. You do come out of the navigator's room, so...
You've got to go.
You've got to go with it, mate. You've got to say there'll be pace.
There probably won't be. I'm looking at a horse, similar thought process to Rusty, Invincible Ruby, or probably more to the point of Cryptic Joy around that 850 mark. I know it's from a maiden straight to a Saturday, but it is a platinum.
Yep.
And that was a really nice win. It did get to them really quickly. It got there early, so you got to like that when they go at a good tempo, and it still makes up that ground quickly and was then sort of stargazing a bit, did the job well, so obviously plenty of upside there.
Good race.
Yeah, really even affair, so could make a case for a lot of them. Got more on the text line here, most abusing me for not being able to read, which is fair enough. One saying McGinnity sounds as nervous as Santorelli scrolling through Twitter with his morning coffee. That's very accurate. Yeah, it's... I've read out the wrong tip, says Duppy's given me a clip, that's fair enough. What else have we got?
Getting a lot of text.
Just a sneaky tip for Fear the Wind each way in the Detonator.
We'll get to that. How's your phone going? Anything coming in over there?
No, very quiet now.
The
baller's got to mention he's happy.
Third event, the Unite Resourcing Handicap over the 1800. And isn't it great to have Unite Resourcing on too? They're doing a terrific job. And
you're on their payroll now, too, mate.
Trying my best.
Fair
One
dinkum.
here for checks. 290
You sure
to 275. 2 Red Dwarfs 21. 3 The Hill Tribe is 12. Number 4 is Barramundi. Somebody tipped that up, did he? 330. 5 Justin Mitty 6. 6 Bell Journey is 12. 7 Bam Bun Boy 23 into 14. That's a little bit of a out wide spec. 8 Opal Tango is 26 and 9 Pages Turn 17 into 10.
Oh, just a midi mart. Words you've never uttered in your life. Pro money here for checks, 1,100 at the 290. Local sharp money, Bam Bam Boy, 550 places at the 460. That's pretty much it. Pretty quiet betting affair, Russ.
Only one leader, from my perspective, is Barramundi, and it could get a nice soft lead here, which is probably why it's so short. Just a midi. It seems a bit shorter than I'd have it, in my view, only because it hasn't won in its last 32 starts.
You're getting to very delicate ground here.
I'm just saying...
Be careful.
I'm just saying...
Careful.
It's
I'm
hard
just
to
saying,
find a
mate,
midi
you don't
now.
understand how this all operates in here.
He's getting very...
Well, if you start...
Touchy, edgy.
Just all I'm saying, you're getting into uncharted waters here, Russ.
All right. He's the odds maker and the breaker, of course. The Hill Tribe was an interesting run the other day. Meets Barramundi 1.5 better. Railed throughout. Dropped 6.5 kilos on its last run. Claims with Luke Campbell, confident young rider. And might be on its way back, the Hill Tribe.
Yeah, I didn't find it.
Don't mind it. I'm going to tip just a midi each way at $7 around the traps. I think it maps pretty well. It should be able to land thereabouts, leaders back. I don't think it'll be much further back than that. It was beaten by Rock on the Jams last start, who is obviously a very nice horse. The margin says 2 lengths, but she got chopped out halfway down the straight. It probably cost it a length. It probably would have run Rock on the Jam to 3/4 of a length, and I think that form's pretty solid, especially when you're coming to a race like this. So that's where I'll be, but not betting with my last dollar in this one, Mart.
No.
And if I was having a wager, I'd have a Quinella. I'd
Why
have
not?
a Quinella here for checks and Barramundi.
Okay.
I think they'll clear out, and I think Daylight will be third.
I'm going to put that in the book. Little Quinella there. First time we've ever had one on Straight
There you
Up.
go.
Pakenham Race 4, they're moving in. Welcome back to Straight Up, and some wonderful conversation off here. Who's going to dive first? I'm the favourite. Russ is he's trying to usurp me.
I'm just somewhat flattened that I've been instilled as favourite.
The AstraZeneca.
Yeah, I was a Pfizer
Continue
man.
on.
I've got to be favourite. Peter's Investments Handicap. It is over the 1,000 metres, race number 4. Time to go 2:19, and starting to get a little bit serious now. This is where we're going to start to throw a few out. 1 Bay Z is 15. 2 Capray Omnia just keeps winning at good odds. This horse $9. 3 Silver Eye. 6 number 4 Miss Flirtatious 9. 5 Sinful Living 440 into 350, and then Rocking Gem 7 into 550. Deferred 440 into 390. No money yet. Secret Style first up at $15.
Nice little betting race, this one, Mart. Bit of early support there. Sinful Living, 600 at the 440. Deferred 500 each way there at the 390. Another 700 wins at the 420. That was Eastern States Pro Money. Rocking Gem, also Eastern States Pro Money.
BPMs.
Yep. 400 at the 6 and 250 there at the 6. Russ.
Great ad, this race, for the winter sale for the yearlings, for the babies. Have a look at the prize money. Just quickly, Miss Flirtatious, bought for $6,000.
Yep.
Has amassed $230,000.
6,000 at the winter sale.
Yep. And Sinful Living, you ready for this? 10,000 at the winter sale. 10 grand.
Yep.
230,000 plus Westby bonuses of 154.
If you don't mind punters.
And 1 year apart. That's incredible, isn't it?
No,
both in the
is.
same race. But there you go. Look, Pikey's back on. Pikey's back in form too after yesterday. Sinful Living, I think it leads. I think it's going to be awfully hard to beat. Rocking Gem ruined what could have been a magnificent Sunday last week, but it was still a very good Sunday, by knocking off Just St. James in the last at Pinjarra. Backs up off the 7 days.
Got that trumpet.
It's good form.
Go on there, mate.
It is very good form.
Yeah.
Deferred, I'm worried whether this horse is a wet tracker.
Okay.
Marty.
Yeah. I get it.
The 1,000 metres also has to be a massive concern fresh for it.
Epaulette.
And then Silver Eye, the twice it's been scratched.
Yeah.
What is going on there? Has it been injured? Is there an issue?
Well, I think
It's always a red flag, isn't it?
Yeah, first time was, I think, an abscess, and the second time was for a future nomination, which is always a good one to see.
Yeah, so I'm happy to stick with Pikey, and I think the bargain buy, the $10,000 filly, who's now amassed close to $400,000 in prize money, might be adding to it.
Can we just talk about Will for a minute? Yesterday, 2 from 2?
Yep.
Rode, like William Pike rides, but I just thought the 2 interviews he did with Scotty after the race, he looked refreshed, he looked invested, he looked interested and happy to be back.
Can I say also he walked well? Did you notice that there wasn't the pronounced limp he had before the break?
Right. No, I didn't pick that up.
Well, I did because I was watching for it. I wanted to see how that ankle really was going, and he did seem to move pretty well. So I'm probably taking it a step too far.
No,
but
it's
I
part of
think
the
it's
fun
very
as well.
important.
I like that.
Yeah, there you are.
But it's good info, isn't it? We've got one from Greg L. Regular on the text line. Has Rylie sent a postcard from the Caribbean yet? I presume that is where he's on the back of Iceberg's current form. So that's a little jab there for Riles. I think he's in Japan, isn't he, Riles?
He is, yeah, snowboarding, yeah. And no tips, and he just completely forgot about us, but that's okay.
He's given us Iceberg.
Yeah, because you get up there in Japan and rolling around in the snow.
And we've got one from
machines.
This might be from Cameron from Wesley Mart. Any chance of Unhinged coming back? That's good. Thanks for listening.
Yes, don't know about that the current times, but it'd be good. Secret Style, I want to talk about this horse. Had a terrific run with it in that Calgary series. Final run was in the Ronnie Sayers $100,000 race when they went crazy out in front.
Made my round, that did, the last race.
Kripalenko?
Kripalenko.
I'm going to have to
I think I was
give
the
him
only
one.
person cheering it. There you are.
Yes, got to get one. Yeah.
He's learned quick, hasn't he, Russ? Quick learner. But she was terrific in all of those wins, and I know you're worried of Vasco da Gama over here, the track navigator, but I think Secret Style's got the pace to get into a good position wherever it wants to get to.
I think you're right. It'll probably. I had it mapped right behind Sinful Living, getting across. There's a bit of other speed in there. Capro Omnia, of course, goes forward. So does Silver Eye, if it's right. And so does Miss Flirtatious.
So would Lucy have had the choice there because she rode that horse all the way through on the Goldfields and it's on Silver Eye? Don't know. How would you know?
Not
I
taking
didn't ask
anything
her.
away.
No. Don't you manage? Oh, no, that's right. Michael Heaton manages, sorry.
Slight size difference.
Yeah.
There, mate.
Okay.
So
Not very similar, though.
Size counts.
Another good
5
race.
foot between us.
Another good race.
So are you in the book for anything?
Yeah, put me down for Sinful Living.
Sinful Living for
Pikey to
Pike.
continue.
Yeah.
3 from 3 on the comeback trail here in the West.
He's even throwing Quinellas out this man. What about
Oh,
yourself?
I love it. Nope.
I'm just a small spec each way Secret Style there in race number 4. I'd like a bit of money to come for it. Andrew Inglis and the team there. How's the Retrovision text line looking?
Tumbleweeds at the moment, Mark.
Tumbles. Okay.
How about Rylie? Even when he's on holidays, he makes money.
Still making money. Yeah.
Great ride by Alex.
He is the manager of Alex Hearn and getting the money there. So on to race number 5. We're looking at the Pierce Racing Yearling Parade tomorrow handicap. It is over the mile. The boys have already been very, very busy and active and on air as well. Julio getting Ben to the airwaves. 1 Heskett. 7 out to 11 back into 10. 2 Not Secret. 11, 14 back to 11. Number 3, a big day on it, is 17 into 10. 4 Axman's Jazz. 440 into 3. It's the winner. 5 Stylish Lord, 550 to 480. 6 Memory Parade is 550. 7 Sessions Peak, 61. 8 Red Tory, 440. And 9 Style Axe, 126.
Well, let's start with one of the bigger goes of the day, Mart. X-Man's Jazz, 600 at the 440. They kept going, 600 at the 380. A couple of $500 bets there, even as low as $290, which they can have again, champions. Big day on it. 800 places at the 370. Not secret, 900 places at the 330. A little bit of money starting to trickle through now for Red Tory on the drift, Russ.
Big day on it. Again, looks like the only leader here, and I think that's why the support's there. Looks like it could get the soft lead. But this Axman's Jazz, I was lucky enough, I had a mate of ours, or a mate of my wife's, had a horse in with Williams, and I went out midweek to Ascot and went and had a look at the horse, and the horse standing next to it just took my eye. I said, what the hell is this thing? And it was Axman's Jazz. It was first up after 500 days. It's a beast of an animal. I noticed there, a 5-year-old having start number 8, it's won 3 of them.
Yep.
This is some horse. Now, on the day, I was so taken aback by it, I asked the girls if they could get it out, just have a look at it. They walked it around for me and put it back in. Gee, it's a beast. It could be one really to follow. I can see the money's certainly there. Anyone that has seen this horse would be saying, give me some of that.
By done deal, so he's probably only just reaching his peak as a 5-year-old lightly race. He'll be ready to run into his best form now.
Always hard second up after a long spell, though.
It's always hard first up after a long spell.
But 500 days off, comes back and wins a midweek, straight back to a Saturday. The extra 200 will suit it. The team are firing. CJP aboard, and it's an impressive animal.
Yeah, it's a very great return, but everyone's got to set their mark for a horse, and I've got those little concerns second up at the mile there off that long break. So, but punters disagree; they are very keen, and this is a nice even race. There's enough quality here. It's certainly stronger than what it beat first up.
Yeah, look, there's plenty in the race. Stylish Lord, terrific effort the other day. Meets Red Tory, 1.5 better. I just really like the last 100 metres of Stylish Lord. If you go back and get a chance to watch the replay, watch the last 100. It hits the line beautifully. The 14 to the 16 will suit it. Not Secret's got a great mile record. It is a good race. And as I said, big day on it, which we've all had at times. It could get a soft lead.
Cheap lead, yeah. And Memory Parade, I think you can forgive last start where things didn't go right. Fred, it was cluttered up on the fence. And
a lot of question marks there. Yeah, but there you go. No abnormalities there with that run when it ran last to Fluro Nero, but sometimes you just got to continue on, as Macca did with that one in Geraldton. Put it in his top 4. It was $3 or $4 last start. And
Mexican
gets the chocolates at $18.
Well, we'll have a crack at the first leg of the quaddie. The Mrs. Max handicap over the 1,500 metres, and number 1 Forever Dreaming is 19. 2 Success Plays 12. 3 Little Silver 23. 4 Our Rocky Bay is 8. 5 Cavallo Red 11 into 950, and 6 Eccentric Nature 225. 7 Celebrity Witness 51. 8 Princess in Red 460 into 390. 9 Abu 71, 10 His Archie 61, 11 Sale Session 12 into 10.
Local Sharpie, very keen early Princess in Red, 600 there at the 460.
Thank you.
That is otherwise markets merging. Even in regards to the rest of the race, there hasn't been a great deal of activity. The money's starting to flow through for the favourite now, Eccentric Nature, slightly on the drift, but will be in a few multis, I'm tipping.
It was very good first up at Bunbury, but boy, what a hard watch, that second up run when it went to town. Started very short, finished off the race well, just that between the 450 and say the 200 was never out of trouble, had no room to move, finished off, as I said, well. Pike back aboard, the Jed's back. Princess in Red, very, very good, draws well. Like to see her jump probably a pair closer.
Big rider change.
Yeah, massive rider change. No disrespect to the previous rider, but to get the state's leading rider at the moment on board, and it should, in my view, go better second up. It's 1 second up before. It's a good race. Again, a good race. Success Plays going okay. Forever Dreaming's finally got those pads off, which is off the fronts, which is good. Cavallo Red's had no luck with draws. Gee, it gets frustrating if you own a horse like Cavallo Red. You just
9, 9, 10.
Pineapple. Yep. Very, very tough. And Our Rocky Bay is another one with a chance in a very open race. And down the bottom there, I know 45 days between runs, but that was a good win, that sale session over Barramundi last start.
in a maiden.
I think it might be
aim back to 15.
a little design for the heading towards the Derby, maybe for that horse who looks a pretty nice progressive young stayer.
Yep, good race.
Is there enough speed in this for horses back in the field to run on or from midfield?
Little Silver's your leader.
You got Little Silver, our Rocky Bay, possibly Success Play Handy, but it missed the kick last start, so you've got a few there.
We'd black booked Princess Red or horses to follow after its last start, 4th behind at your service.
Yep.
It's drawn beautifully for Parnham to just have it off the speed.
Yep, won that one back probably.
Did I think missed the kick a little bit last start, but
Yep.
Chrissy On should be able to get out of the gates cleanly and settle a little bit handier.
So which way are you going, Russ? Anything at all?
I'm going Princess and Red.
Same.
Each way, just on the map.
Yep.
The other one will get back, could get that hampered run again. And you've got to have a lot of faith when you're backing them after a run like it had last time. You never know what's going to happen. But Pikey on board. Could be 2 out of 2 or 2 out of 3 for him again.
What about yourself?
Nothing here, Mart.
No. You're listening to Straight Up. Russell Collett, Brad McManus. We're going through our legs of the quaddie and race number 7, the Morley Growers Market Challenge Stakes. It gets interesting now, lads. 1,500 metres. And 1 Olympic Park back at the track. First up, 750 and into 6. 2 All Grunt, 5 to 420. 3 is Caporetto, 26. 4 What's the Point, 51. 5 Noah Quintelli, 41. 6 Glasgow Lass, 6 into 480. 7 Golden Kathleen, 31 to 23. 8 Ron's Final Flutter, 7 to 650. And then 9 Flower Gold, 7 to 420. 10 Dealer in, 750. You must be going to win here. There's plenty of money.
Oh, it's a bit flowing, Mart. Salivating affair.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
So you should.
Glasgow Lass. Oh, Mitchie. 600 each way at the 550. Flower of Gold. They got stuck in early. I think they liked the, $7 early. They went bang. They took that. They've taken the 6. They've taken the 550. They've taken the 5. They've taken the 480. They've taken the 460. Fair dinkum.
Have you ever, the old one, the bookies, just when you go to collect up the front, this is one of our favourites, Russ, and around the back, pal.
Love it.
You ever got to produce that on them every now and then?
I used to work for Don Martin in the ring, and I was in a bad mood out the back once, and someone was trumpeting their win and came out the back to collect off me, and I said, round the front, champ. So I went back to Don Martin and said, can I cash this in? And Don's gone, round the back, mate.
Very good. Very good.
Oh, the old around the back, pal.
Done the old 360. Anyway, the pros have backed Olympic Park as well. The smart money locally, all grunts coming. Ron's Final Flutter, smart money.
Good money.
Cracking betting race, as you'd expect, Ross.
Oh, it's a terrific race, isn't it? Look at the records of some of these horses. Olympic Park had me after that first couple of runs, especially that second start when it won at Ascot. That was phenomenal, that win. And then kicked it on, placed in the Fair Wreath, placed in the WA Guineas. Not bad, is it? 2 wins and 2 thirds in your first 4 starts. Glasgow Lasses won 2 of 3. All Grunts won 3 of 4. Ron's Final Flutter doesn't know how to run a bad race. Flower of Gold, 2 and 2 out of 6. Even the bottom weight, 3 starts for a win in a second. This is a really good horse race. Always has been the challenge.
Yep.
And it's usually a good horses race. Usually the winner of this goes on to greater things, and that's why I'm going to stick with, at the value, Olympic Park. I think he's the horse going towards the Derby. Yes. And I could see him at 1,500 first up. Even without a trial, I could see him running a huge race. And he'll be the one I'll be watching on in the run. All Grunt, you can't knock its form, and certainly you can't knock the money. The money with Flower of Gold, there's certainly a lot of support there. I don't know whether that's just pipe money or whether it's form money. But I'm sticking with Olympic Park. I think he's the horse of the next 12 months. And I think why not? First up, 1,500 metres in a listed race, drawn 1. He might get back. If he gets off that rail and gives himself a chance to launch, he could be the one at each way.
Is that a concern? Barrier 1 blinkers off?
Yeah, does that mean 3 back rails at the very closest? And it should be nice and fresh anyway. First up, no trial, Mart, so should be a bit of ping there.
Yeah. Hopefully. Leader here, I've got What's the Point as the leader. There's not a lot of other speed in it except for Glasgow Lass will race close, Caporetto will race close, and hopefully Olympic Park jumps without the blinkers on.
The big concern for Olympic Park might be how slow they might go in. They might really sort of bunch up at patches because, as you said, What's the Point looks the leader, and who knows which What's the Point turns up and how far that carries them into the straight. It has been known to just mix its form a little bit. So, but for me, I can't have Flower of Gold at that price as favourite in that race at 1,500 first up, no trial. That would be an incredible effort. Probably suggest the horse may well have come back better, and I'd be looking at All Grunt. I think it's going to be. Hopefully, it doesn't get caught wide again. Can go when it wants to. It was an incredible effort. Watching that replay, I thought Deal Her In had it cold halfway down the straight because it was the one that got out the softer run, ready to launch. All Grunt had done a bit of work around him. Just kept finding. So, really nice animal. $5 around the traps gets me for All Grunt.
There you go.
As you said, you summed it up beautifully, Russ, and Ian Dunstan off the text lines come in and said he's just tuned in and really enjoying your analysis of these races.
Very good.
Your old mate up on the goldfields.
Old Scout. It's a beauty.
Oh, he's going beautifully.
One for you, Mart, off the text line, the Retrovision text line.
Yes.
What's that number, Mart?
0427 789 571. Group 1 Morts. 2024 tallies running out the door.
Jim, the Pommy Pie, do you have any fun drive comps coming up?
No, not at the moment. Give me some time to work that one out. We're in a holding pattern. I've got one from you off this text line over here. Can you ask McGinnity what date feature race markets Karrakatta, Oaks and Derby will come out? Is it day of noms or later that week?
It will be probably the day after the day of noms because the Karrakatta tends to have 7,000 nominations and half of them haven't even trialled yet, so it just takes a little bit of time to sort those markets out.
Sounds like a movie, doesn't it? The Day of Noms. 7. We're putting in Olympic Park.
I am, mate. I'm each way the Peters runner.
It could be one of these ones where you back it Saturday and just stick if it gets beat.
Yep.
Oh, the lefty's got a tip in the race too. He likes All Grunt, so well tipped lefty. I concur.
I haven't really touched on this horse, but it is absolutely motoring, isn't it?
No, I only spent 2 minutes talking about it, Mark.
Yeah.
You were probably looking at packing them.
We were sort of talking, not so much.
I was listening, mate. Don't worry, McGinnity. I was certainly listening in. Glasgow Lass, we haven't really touched on.
Super effort first up. Well, 3 wide, no cover, had to keep chasing and was still taking ground off him on the line.
Yep. No, really good race. And as you said, Ron's final flutter, that was big money for it down there at Bunbury in the Breeders.
It was good in the Breeders.
Yeah, it was good, very good. Only got beaten by one. And as I said, it has not run a bad race, but only the one win.
And punters shouldn't fall off Deal Her In either because the money keeps coming. It's been an avalanche every start, but it wasn't beaten very far last start. It's still a progressive animal. And,
great race. Again, a great race if you're heading out to Ascot. You don't want to be missing that one, the Challenge Stakes.
It's always an important meeting because it gives you an insight into what's coming up with the big lead-ups to these big races, as our listener just wanted the prices there. We'll go to the reliable asset maintenance Detonator Stakes over the 1800. Horses getting down towards the barriers there at Geraldton. 1 blazing away is 61. 2 is Curramundi, and it is $17. Number 3, Red Sun Sensation 31. 4, Own the Queen 11. 5, Fear the Wind 23. 6, Bonjoy. She's $2 20 into $2. 7, Antique Miss 8 to $7.50. 8 is So War 31. 9, Alaskan God 51. 10, Demolish 16 from 23. 11, Fat Roy Slim 91. 12 is Sensational at $4.60. Kisses from Kelly 26. Flower in the Wind 41.
Mart.
Back.
Own the Queen, 500 each way. The $10. Sensational, 3,000 places at the $1.85. Bonjoy, 1,000 wins at the $2. Antique Miss, 1,300 places at the $2.50. There we go. And an each way component there at the $8 as well. Good. That's a good spread of money for this for this sort of race shape where you've got one favourite pretty dominant in the market, there's enough of a spread there, Russ. But these multis with Bonjoy, they're going to be large, Mart.
Yeah, big.
Some horses are just Pike horses. Do you ever find that? Or some horses just go for Willie Pike, and when he teams up with them, they just grow a leg. And Sensational is one of them. It's won 4 of 5 with Pike on it, and the only day he got beat was first up at Pinjarra when he got held up the entire straight behind Dr. J. Every other time it's won for him.
Uh-huh.
Now, it's hard to knock a horse with the form of Bonjoy, but you know what you're going to get from Sensational, drawn for with Willie Pike on it. And I think each way, again, at almost the each way odds, I think it's a great bet.
If you being a bookie, do you just keep laying Bonjoy and try and get a beat?
Well, you have to, because at some point they all get beat.
Yeah.
It's been an amazing run from him. It's a tremendous horse. 11 wins from 18. It's done its damage with the books already. So you've got to continue on with it. Look, one day it'll get beat, and it's always every win. It's one race closer to a defeat.
Yeah.
But 4 from 5 is that Sensational form with Pike aboard. And as I said, incredibly stiff the only day it got beat. Drawn beautifully. I think they're the two in the race, and I think Pike can knock off the favourite.
There you go. But we're looking at the Challenge Stakes, and this is race number 8 on the program, and I think we've covered off on Bonjoy.
And Sensational.
And Sensational.
The Detonator. Great addition.
The Detonator, sorry.
But the thing I'm battling with about getting Bonjoy beat is that they'll get beaten, but it seems to just be winning better and better the last couple. It's sort of taking care of them. So it has been known to be a bit skittish out of the gates at times, so maybe that's the chance for bookies to get it rolled. Another race, Russ, with not a great deal of pace in it.
Yeah, finding the speed map was difficult, and I think Antique Miss might even take these up.
Yeah, that's what it looks like to me too. It's hard work even finding a breeze horse.
Yeah, it is. But I can just see Pike having this very, very close. It could be boxing even, Sensational. And
Blazing Away, does it go forward? It's led at a mile before.
It might have been a while back. Red Sun Sensation has been known to go forward, but I think they prefer to get cover with it. Own the Queen, they seem to prefer cover. So Walk and Settle handy enough. Demolish Can, they sometimes seem to look for cover on it as well.
There'll be pace.
It'll be 7, leading in mine.
7.
Yeah, it seems to be the leader. Yeah.
Pushes out from 10.
Yep.
Just sneaks across at its own leisure.
Right.
Chris Parnham.
Yep. But you're convinced that Pike's got the key to Sensational?
I do.
Yep.
And I think it'll get a really, really good map, and it'll get a good journey.
You've been up and about with the tips today. You've filled every box. I'm going to give you that much. You've earned your money.
I've let a few go through.
Yeah. Anything from you?
No,
nothing. Hasn't been much all day.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much. Race number 9. This is the Ballast Racing Joiner Racing Syndicate Handicap. Have you ever been in a racing syndicate?
Yeah.
Have you?
Yeah.
Unofficially. Great. Racing horses with your mates is one of the great pleasures in life, Mart.
Yeah. Yet to do it.
Have any mates?
That's right.
I was going to say the same for me.
72 plus. Keep Reading is 31-2. Watch Me Rock 390. 3 Son of the Boss 10 to 850. 4 Burbrace 750 to 550. 5 Lons de Leaders 17. 6 Angel Undercover 750. 7 Golden Veils 7 from 850. Number 8 is Brimstone 34. 9 Comic Hero 12 to 750. 10 Siberian Siren, she's into 850 from 10, and Sadream Lot 13 to 11. Bit of money going around here as well.
I'm just waiting for a text message from Butchie declaring his horse. Remember, he used to correct us on the pronunciation every time we had a crack at it. Burberry, Barbary.
There's about 4 in there.
Barbary.
What is it?
Doesn't matter.
Whatever you like.
Oh, it's a spice of some sign, I think. Yeah.
Burberry.
Butchie's probably busy raising his left arm at the sales and with a frothy in his right arm. But, the money, this is just one of the great ones, Mart.
Spread around.
500 each way. Brimstone at the big price. Son of the Bosch, 1,000 places at 310. Barbaray, a couple of $300 and $400 bets there at the $8, $7.50, $7 Golden Vale. Local pros and Eastern States pros keen there. There's been plenty of money starting to pile up now for Watch Me Rock, Mart. So 500 at the 3, 500 at the 310. They can all double up. Eastern States Pro Money, Siberian Siren and Comic Hero and Danger Undercover. Nice betting race, Ross.
Yeah, always is the last. They programmed it well. Watch Me Rock seems to be a bit on the ease there, out to $3.90 now, opened at $2.90. The 1,200.
Any opinion on that, Ross?
Yeah, I think the 1,200 is.
No, the price.
Where you
You're
got
okay
it wrong.
with the price?
No, I think that's where you got it wrong. The 1,200.
Yeah.
Not trying to point anything out, but I think it's clear that that's what the market's saying. That you've definitely got that one wrong. Comic Heroes, good support there into $7.50. Good win there, Comic Hero. Lucy Fiore, drawn a bit wider, 4.5 kilos off. I found the map very hard to do here.
Is there pace in it? I need pace.
Well, this is the big concern. Son of the Boss probably will go forward. Golden Vale can go forward, but there's no clear leader. Not for mine, and something has to lead.
Yeah.
Maybe a horse
Siberian?
like, so Dream a Lot, Siberian Siren, both sneak forward. Golden Vale looks the one that could definitely sneak forward. Son of the Boss, I like to get cover, but it naturally sort of sneaks forward. So there's a few there, but they should, there doesn't seem to be a heap of pace at all.
Okay.
Butchie has texted through, he said Burberry.
I think that's what I said.
Thanks, Butch. It's close. Yeah. Thanks, Butch.
Yeah.
Well bought today, Butch. I'm sure he's got 5 more in the stable now.
Be nice to have a horse that can win 4 out of 8.
Yeah, and worry about what you call it.
He's got a few.
I call it Butch. Tom.
That'll be its stable name, surely. It's got to be. Tricky race at the end of the day. I couldn't go one way or the other. This is the one race where I would be saying, if you're having a quaddie, I'm
you're
saying
this is this week.
This is the field leg in the last.
Wow. Last week you trimmed it up in that wide-looking race.
I can't do it in this race.
Right. I'm Siberian Siren.
Siberian?
Massive run last time.
Yeah, I'm the Siren.
It was huge. But gets back again, or does it go forward?
It can run up on, just off the speed, can it? Previously?
It's a tricky.
Am I getting them mixed up? There's a lot of those horses.
No, tricky race. Tricky race for mine.
Yeah, sat second when it won over 12, yeah. Bob's got one in this.
Yep.
At Pakenham.
Watch Me Rock.
Watch Me Rock?
For me, yep, that's in the book. 450 around the traps, that's enough. Lefty's keen as well.
Watch Me Rock.
Yeah.
With Pike in the last. You love all that.
Blinkers have turned this horse around, I think.
Yeah.
And it might become even more effective with the 1,200 fresh with those blinkers on.
Okay.
Yep.
Don't forget, we'll have David Houston to wrap up day 1 of Magic Millions after this event from Pakenham. But we need to get our best bets in now, Russ, for the meeting.
Best bets for the meeting.
Yes.
Mine comes up in the first.
Kawara.
Get it early.
Yep.
Each way, I've got a couple of good each way bets for mine. Scorpion Roar, I think, is a great bet each way. Don't forget the Quinella. Here for checks and Barramundi. Has that ever been done here before?
First ever, yeah.
I'd like to get it tattooed on my fingers here. Quinella, just to remember. Sinful Living, I think, will be very, very hard to toss. And Axman's Jazz. So I'm saying very, very early.
Get it early.
Is the way to do it. And then, of course, later in the day, each way again. One of my better each way bets. Olympic Park is at the right price. I think it's an exceptional horse on the way up.
Race 2, I think, Cryptic Joy, $9.50 around the traps. That's getting me. Race 3, just a midi each way at the $7 to jam it up. Rusty's Quinella. Race 7, All Grunt at the $5 around the traps. That's enough. And race 9, Watch Me Rock at the $4.60 mark to round things out. How is yours?
Mine, Watch Me. It's okay. Race 4, Secret Style. Just a little roughy. I want a bit of money for it. Race 5, Axman's Jazz. Race 6, Princess in Red. And race 9, Siberian Siren. I'm with that Casey gang.
And don't forget, sensational for me, the Pike horse.
Jeez.
There's another one each way.
Well,
it's a good day for punting.
Yeah, well, are you out there
gamble
fielding?
responsibly, of course.
You out fielding?
No, I'm not. The week after I'm back.
Okay.
I'm actually on the behind the mic Saturday.
Oh, at PR.
Yes.
Yeah, we can all share radio stations here, can't we?
Why
McGuane, you've been good.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Chances are you're about to lose. For free and confidential support, visit gamblinghelpline.org.au.